Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat, the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon.
Coming to you live from the Phoenix Holding Studio, it's Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump. Tonight, we welcome Benjamin from BlockXpress, plus some degenerate gamblers, and a whole bunch of crazy apes. Featuring Jean-Baptiste and Stay Human. Please allow me to introduce myself. Here's Johnny. Thank you, for your wonderful audience. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Okay, stop clapping. Good evening, ladies and degens, and welcome to another very special episode of Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump, where I have the honor and privilege of hosting tonight's show from the lavishly luxurious Phoenix Holding Studio. I'm, of course, your host, Not Donald Trump, as well as just a regular businessman and degenerate investor. Our guest tonight is Benjamin from BlockXpress. Thank you, Benjamin, for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holding Studio. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you on this lovely evening?
Hello guys, thank you so much for inviting me here or us, our BlockXpress. And gonna give props to the intro. That was very good.
Thank you.
To be here.
I appreciate it.
Excited for the hoping for a very insightful discussion with you guys. I've been reading through the chat, so let's get it on. Let's go.
Excellent. We're so happy to have you with us. Now, before we start, I just want to give a quick briefing how this is going to work. We'll have an open floor after my questions are done, at which point we'll be allowing the rest of the participants to raise their hands. Until the time, the rest of these filthy degenerates will remain muted. To keep things organized and to ensure that your questions don't get lost in general conversation, please wait until after I have announced that the floor is open before posting your questions. If you have a question that you'd like to ask via text, please post it in text chat and tag me at JonaldTronDump once we've opened the floor for questions. In the interest of time, please ensure that you're limiting questions to one question per post or hand raise. And just a reminder to those of you listening that absolutely none of us here are financial advisors, and you should always do your own research. Tonight, you lucky listeners have a chance to win a portion of BUSD for the best question asked either by voice or by text during the open floor segment of tonight's show. So now that we got all that out of the way, Benjamin, are you ready to begin?
Yep, let's go. I'm ready.
Perfect. So to start us off here, before we talk about the project itself, let's get to a bit more about you. Who the hell are you, and why should these degenerates trust you and your team with their hard-earned beans? Oh, who's got that music going?
Hello guys.
Oh, Squally, hold on. I can't mute an admin. Okay, he's muted himself. Perfect. Benjamin, please go ahead.
All right, so hello guys. So we are BlockXpress. So I am Benjamin, representing our team. It's an honor to be here, and we're looking forward for, like I said, a very insightful discussion with you guys. So our team is based in Europe and Asia. Core team consists of 4 members. To add to that, we are currently expanding further to meet the demands and needs of our community. We are active because we are currently very actively seeking for customer service representatives because we believe it will reduce the friction between our community and the project. So
I love every opportunity to reduce friction whenever I can.
Well, I know you guys would be meaning to ask how our project would survive in this type of market, right? So, because to answer that, because our project is something that people need every day, we have a real life use case that has a very huge demand in the market. For example, Amazon 2021 revenue is 469.8 billion. That's only for 2021. Fiverr 2021 revenue is 298 million. Though a portion of it, imagine only a chunk of that revenue would mean a lot for our project and would mean a huge success for us. We don't even need the whole revenue itself, only a portion, a 5% or a 10%. To give highlight to, Fiverr stopped accepting Bitcoin payments 2017. Our part of the plan is to funnel them. Why? We will discuss on the functions that we're about to dive into in the further discussions. But of course, there is some. It's not that easy. That like funneling all of them into Web3. It's not just that easy. Of course, there are challenges for us. So the challenge for us is how to decrease the user base friction acquisition and to funnel Web2 users to Web3 community. Also, part of our goal is to build a platform that is very straightforward, very easy to use, that even a person with a non-Web3 background or experience would understand. Because we believe as a team that if the community doesn't even notice the underlying blockchain technology behind the platform, that is the true key to success of a mass adoption. If it is that easy to understand and to use, that is a mass adoption for us. That would be the meaning of success for us.
Excellent. Definitely sounds interesting. Now, one question I have as well is, how did you and your team come together and come up with the concept for this project? Like, how did you and your team meet, and how did this idea come about?
Well, we see the current problem of the e-commerce space. So actually, for the direct competition, I believe we do not have one because they for competition, like there are some projects that has some features of where we are planning to add, but there are literally no project yet that has all the functions. So aside from the revenue of the Amazon and the Fiverr, only a chunk of it, we see that there is a huge gap between the Web2 e-commerce and the Web3 community. And then for us, our job is to bridge those gaps and make those community like being interconnected to each other. So yes, that's my answer to that question.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. So that being said, now let's turn our attention to the project itself. What is your project, and what makes it worth investing in?
So the project itself is it's about the e-commerce of Web3. So we have 5 huge functions we are about to implement. So if it's okay, it will be long, but can I discuss each function?
Yeah, of course. Please, by all means, the more information you can provide about your project, the more informed our investors will be.
Perfect. So first is the store. So store is almost ready for launch. It will be available in few days' time. In store, you can list any product as long as it follows our platform TOS, terms of service. There are ranking upon tiers and reviews from other customers, basically ratings. Also, to add to your ratings or your verification, you can also choose to do KYC with us. And then you will be able to have a verified sales account, a verified badge. So what are the props of being verified? Verified accounts will have a special badge and will be prioritized on the list. To add to that, there is no limit to buying or selling quantity. There will also be an option where you can buy crypto on our website. Like if you don't have any crypto, but you have credit card or PayPal, you can use that, right? So for those who doesn't have any cryptocurrency, no need to worry. We will integrate credit card or PayPal payments along with the platform. Then of course, this is not e-commerce if we don't have a refund policy, right? Because friction always does occur. So we have to prepare for that beforehand, right? So when it comes to refund policy, it will be between customer, a buyer, and vice versa. The product first has to be qualified for refund, which has to pass our standard protocol. You can also report a seller to us, and our team will go through the process of the report. So if you think there is some potential bad actors going on around, report it. But Of course, it's not just you can report anyone though, but we will filter, we will scan, we will screen if it is really a bad actor or not. If it is, we will do we will mediate, we will intervene, we'll help the community. So because we have a very strict policy, and we don't tolerate any scam, weapons, listing any drugs, sex-related materials, or any form of illegal activities. We don't tolerate any of all. So also, a, we- a well reputable sale, just to give highlights of, if you think, guys, that the merchants will refund or not, if you're doubting about that concept, here's my insight or my team insight about it. Because based on our experience on Web2 e-commerce, well, let me start it with a well reputable seller is making a living out of selling his products. So to sellers and for him, the reputation is more than the refund of the items. Like huge chunk of the business success is about reputation and branding. And if you have a right business model, part of it should be expense. Like your business model should have an expense on in which will give you power to deal with these sort of things that potentially can save your reputation, because selling products for us is actually not just selling products, to be honest. It is also selling your good customer service to stand out from the other merchants. Actually, you might actually get surprised in the end that a one simple favor of returning the products or sending a new one might open 1,000 doors for your business. Because as we can see on eBay or any other platform, it usually goes very well with the buyer and seller. Merchants would rather refund or send a new item, because I used to a lot of eBay and Amazon. So my point is, well reputable merchants don't have any problem doing this at all, because reputation at all is one of the sole foundation of being a business person or your business. So that's for the store part. So let's move on to the service listing. So what is service listing? Our service listing is like the fiber of Web3. We will harness the portion chunk of revenue that the fiber doesn't want, because they don't accept cryptocurrency starting 2017. So we want that portion of revenue. That is what we want to funnel into our community. So what is service listing? Everything related to service such as creating websites, designing NFTs, YouTube marketing, selling crypto related services such as hosting AMAs on Telegram, or posting on your social media. Those can be listed on our service listing. So for me, this is also a good opportunity to tell the beginners out there that this is the place where you can find all the crypto related services in one place. So no need to go anywhere else. This is your platform for beginners or for the veterans. So also on our service listing, there is the reputation badge. So what is reputation badge? The reputation badge is given by our marketing experts, such as verified marketing services, if it is a trusted merchant. And the rest, of course, we will give by the community, not just purely by us. For example, they found the seller responsive, good delivering the work on time, the quality of the work, right? So there will be rating. Ratings solely is based on unlike verified badge, the ratings is solely based on community. Community will decide whether they find it the service good or not. So you will have a star ratings depending on your service, quality, delivery, time management, etc., etc. Then for our service listing, there will be a advertisement section. Why? Because actually almost all of our platform has an advertisement section. Why? Because this is part of our revenue stream on our business model, because it will be used to pay employees, staffs, and further developments of the product. So let's jump right in. Like on our service section, there there is some section where we recommend others to the one who's looking for services, and those will be charged again a bit of a fee and will be verified by our team. Our marketing team knows which one to list as recommended or not through standard process or protocol of screening. So that's for the service listing. Then we go to our next function, the NFT hub. So if you guys are familiar with the OpenSea, so basically that is what is this all about. So NFT marketplace, where you can create your own NFTs, list and sell them to monetize your work. So NFT hub is basically an NFT marketplace where will be able to buy and sell and create NFTs. Also, creators earn royalty fees, which the mechanic will be released and will be announced soon prior to the NFT Hub launch. So, same with service listing, there will be also an advertising section where the users can use to promote their brands. Of course, BlockXpress will charge them for an advertising fee, as this will be used as additional revenue for our project and will be used for further development. So to add to that, partner projects will be promoted here, which will be verified by our team and run through the process. So next function will be staking. So if you notice on our roadmap, staking will be launched almost simultaneously, like right after the fair launch, because staking correlates to store. Why? Because staking will provide the VIP tier system that I will discuss in this topic. So staking, there will be different staking pools with different locks, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, with different APY, of course. Same with another project's staking pool, all has different APY. You will let me remind you guys, you will not be forced to lock the tokens, but if you choose to withdraw before the lock extends, you will be charged a fee from those tokens that are locked. This is just to make sure that people don't stake with it and ended up messing our system, right? So just to clarify, guys, we do not promise high APY. Why? Because high APY promotes hype, right? We don't want that. Hype also, to add that, high APY promotes unsustainable economy. We do not promise high APY because it's very unsustainable. Though we do not promise low APY either. We promise a decent APY. So just to clarify that sector, because I know you guys will, most of our community members are curious about that. So yes, that's it. That is for the staking part. Then to add to the staking part, the VIP tier system. That is why the staking is correlated with the store, because the VIP tier system promotes and incentivizes the holders to hold onto their token, to diamond hand their token, because depending on the amount of your token holding, defines on what type of tier you as a VIP holder. For example, if you're a VIP holder, you have the benefits of discounts, free shipping, or any additional perks. So to section and guidelines will be announced soon prior to launch. So stay tuned to that. Then for the P2P trading, so P2P trading is peer-to-peer trading. So this is a place where you can trade your cryptocurrencies with other users. So same like the other P2P platforms out there, it's not much different. So to promote security, to add to that, to promote security and prevent bad actors, we integrated the escrow functions. So the escrow functions will serve as the automated middleman. And to make sure, this escrow function will make sure that the trading will go smoothly and safe for every users. So for the whole platform, there will be a section where, as a general advertising section, so you can advertise anything on our project, on our project's advertising section, like your NFTs, your project, your exchange, your product, your car, as long as it is verified by us. This will, of course, again, will cost you a fee, which will again go into the development of the project and for the salary of our employees, because it's part of our revenue stream on the business model. Then if you were asking about the arrival of these functions, functions will arrive at a very few intervals between each other, meaning all functions will arrive sooner than what we expected, in which I will tackle on the other side of the topic of our discussion later. I'm sure it will get tackled. So for the function parts, yes, this is all my answer. Hope it clears out for this part.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the breakdown. It's great to hear about the different aspects of the project and exactly what users and stakeholders can do as a part of the BlockXpress ecosystem. So what I'm wondering as well are what are some of the short-term and long-term plans for this project? Tell us a bit about your roadmap.
Yeah, sure. But actually, instead of okay, let's dive into roadmap. But I was about to say the marketing part, but yeah, right. Let's
we can either or. Whichever you'd like to start with. We can talk marketing as well if you like.
Yeah, sure. But let's dive to the roadmap. So when you can see on our roadmap, our e-commerce platform are set to launch this Q3, but actually, it is almost quite ready. So before the fair launch, users can start testing the platform, listing their products. So that's quite few days, only few days from now. Then after that, fair launch, then staking integration. So we kept the interval very short among each other for the community to benefit from the VIP tier system on the e-commerce platform when the staking integration launch. After that, the NFT marketplace. So if you are thinking, guys, why do we launch so many functions like almost instantaneously? Because of the part of our Q3 roadmap is centralized exchange listing. Why? Because big exchange listings are big on products like centralized exchange listing is something that for example, because I know some of you guys will ask that when Binance, right? You don't actually get listed in Binance by just saying that you wanted to or you have the money to. Like big exchanges are big on real use case. They are big on products. They don't even bother about your hype or anything. We've seen projects that produce such hype, but big exchanges doesn't even bother to look at them because big exchanges are big on big products. What have you built? What have you produced? So that's the answer to why we keep pushing different functions before we initiate the centralized exchange listing. Now, so that's on Q3. That's all on Q3. Then on Q4, there will be the P2P trading, service listing, the fiber part, and the additional audit of the CertiK. Then moving to Q1 would be the Play Store and Apple Store integration. So we have to finish all of the function as fast as we can. Why? Because if we can launch the Play Store and Apple Store integration as soon as we can, it would mean a very huge amount of mobile users. Then we all know, I know you guys all know that mobile users is such a huge market audience. Not even close to desktop users. So if you are going to analyze our roadmap, it is based on really building a real world use case and building functions heavily on development. Because if we dive into our marketing, we can discuss why we are not such big on a type of being hype project like that. And later we can discuss that when we tackle the marketing.
Now, so thank you very much for clarifying about the roadmap. I know that at one point in the quarterly breakdown, you mentioned that one thing that is being looked at too for BlockXpress is some of these centralized exchanges. Now, I noticed in your pre-sale that part of what was mentioned was that the token contract for this project is, if I just double check here, that the token contract for this project has already been renounced. Now, I know that a lot of centralized exchanges won't actually accept projects yet, so this one does have a renounced ownership. I know that a lot of centralized exchanges won't actually accept projects um, or tokens where the contract has already been renounced due to any potential issues with the contract itself down the road that may have to justify or warrant a relaunch of the contract. How would you see that as an obstacle that BlockXpress would overcome in the seeking of listings on the centralized exchanges?
Well, for us, one thing that we remove on our tokenomics is the transaction tax, because for us that is the thing that prevents a token from getting listed. But from the token being renounced for us, because our contract is coded like the most simplest way, the code you can compare to BNB. So we have renounced the ownership of the contract, and the transaction tax is zero. And for us, actually, it's our like, which we think give us the ultimate advantage to be listed on exchange. And but all we know that Binance is all about product building. So if we want to get listed, we should build aggressively on the function part. But yeah, our contract is coded in the most simplest way, transaction tax is zero. We believe that is enough for us to get listed.
Excellent. Thank you much for the clarification on that. All right, so now let's jump into the marketing aspect of this project. Besides the show that you're on with us right now, what are some other marketing plans that you have in store to help promote this project? I know that a lot of projects don't want to reveal too much about their marketing plans until further on down the road, but how much info are you able to provide us at this time?
Well, don't get us wrong. We will push the project aggressively for marketing after launch and pre-sale. Partnerships, advertisement on BSCan, YouTube marketing, Twitter marketing, Telegram marketing, AMAs, everywhere, because we have the ability to do so. But I'd like to clarify this point that we actually appreciate that we are launching this bear market, because as our team can focus on what really matters, and for us that is building good foundations and a good user base without the noise of an overhyped bull market. Because guys, sometimes a bull market can actually distract the team on what really matters. If we want our project to strive and build solid foundations, we believe that the bear market is the perfect time for us to launch, because bear market separates projects that are built on hype and projects that are built on a solid business foundation. So we are all on building good business foundations. Also, to include on our strategy, so based on our ads and our platform interactions, we will identify an effective user base acquisition funnel. Yes, in which will make our marketing campaign more effective and cost efficient. So it's not like going on ham with the marketing, like burning your burn rates as high as you can, then ended up being like a short-term project or fad. For us, it's not the right way. Because why do we think like this? Because we believe as a team that providing value first is what really counts. I mean, don't get us wrong. Building hype and huge candle pumps are great. I cannot argue with that. But yeah, the question is, after you entice those hundreds or thousands of users, then what? Can your platform even accommodate the hype, or your platform will end up crashing down and become inaccessible? So this is a very good topic, because it gives me opportunity to remind everyone on why blockchain was built in the very first place. Blockchain was built to help our society progress, right? To make us humans life easier. So for us, that is how we understand it. But it is very quite contradicting if we will be building a project that is based on hype, then ends up failing because the business foundations we built are not that sturdy, right, to accommodate such hype. But again, don't get us wrong, we are doing marketing, but of course we have to find the balance and the allocations of funds between the marketing and the product development, because we believe that the product that provides value first with real world use case and is supported with good business foundations has a higher chance of survival, and of course with better chance of project longevity. So if you guys are familiar with the survival of the fittest theory or ideology, a part of it is being adapted to the environment or current situation, right? So if this is our plan, so how do we entice big partnerships with big companies then, right? Of course, you're going to ask that. Many of you will going to ask that. If you are planning to go 50-50 on the budget and for the development such, how are you going to entice them, right? Again, by building real products with real world use cases, because big companies are big with building good products and solid business foundations. Even if you bring good hype for a partnership, these big partnerships are not that easy to secure. Big companies protect their brand name and reputation, and hype without real product and solid business foundation promotes only a hype cycle that most probably won't last. I guarantee you that. I mean, we don't want that. We don't even want that to happen, right? Well, we don't want to be associated with the reputation of a hype project or a fad, like a come and go project. And I'm sure big companies don't want that either. That is how important a reputation is, a product building with good business foundation is. So to conclude to this topic, we really care about the community. And for us, we think that this is the better way moving forward for our project to thrive or to any project around in this type of harsh bear market.
Definitely sounds interesting. So one thing I have to ask as well is, in regards to the security of this project, what measures are you taking to ensure the security of investors' assets and to ensure them the legitimacy of this project?
Thank you for your question. Very good question. So first of all, how secure is our project? For our contract, our code is built in the most simplest way, like I told you guys before. Transaction tax is 0%. Then, since I already mentioned that before, let's go to our certification. So our smart contract is audited by Solid Proof. Then we are KYC'd by Assure DeFi. Then we are certified SAFU by the Matrix Labs. To add to that, when you go to our Fair Lunch link, you will see that we have a SAFU badge. So, but what is SAFU badge? So let me discuss it with you guys, because PinkSale has a very, very strict compliance to make sure that the project is SAFU. So in order to get that, this is the criteria you should have to have that SAFU badge. So first, what is SAFU badge? SAFU badge means that the project cannot be manipulated by the developer to hurt investors and gain an unfair advantage over them. SAFU badge will be given to projects whose owner is KYC and pass the following criteria. Also, the ownership of the contract must be held by the SAFU developer. But let me clarify it to you guys why we are already auto-qualified for this first criteria and privileges. Because first, SAFU developer, this is the criteria by the way, SAFU developer must hold the ownership of the contract in 14 days at least. Owner cannot be able to mint new tokens. Owner cannot be able to pause trading. Owner cannot be able to set max transaction limit lower than 0.1% of circulating supply. Owner cannot be able to block accounts from trading like blacklist, etc. Owner cannot be able to claim the contract's balance of its own token. Owner cannot be able to set max wallet limit lower than 1% of circulating supply. So, meaning, why are we auto-qualified? Because our contract is renounced. Nobody owns the ownership, the contract. Nobody owns the ownership of the contract. So for this part of the criteria, we are already auto-qualified. But of course, there are other criteria. That's why it is very hard to get the SAFU badge from PinkSale. So props to the PinkSale for doing this to make sure the projects are safe. So for the tokenomics criteria, owner cannot be able to set fees higher than 25%. No unlocked tokens in first 30 days from listing, and liquidity lock-up time shouldn't be less than 365 days. That's 1 year. So our liquidity is locked for 365 days. Then, SAFU developer must control or all those unlocked tokens. Then for the contract must be audited by trusted partner, which is we already passed. Contract should not malfunction in any circumstances, and no proxy contracts. Then to add to that, our tokenomics, just to let you know, guys, and to be transparent with you, resale is 20.2%, unlocked tokens is 3.28%, will be used for staking. Liquidity is 9.8%, team vesting is 66.6%, 15% unlock after 30 days, then 3% each week. So those tokens will be used for maintaining the platform and development, like store, NFT hub, staking, P2P platform, and the service listing. So that's how secure our project is.
Excellent. Sorry, did you mention in that the team was KYC as well?
Yeah.
Excellent.
We done KYC with Assure DeFi. They are the gold standard of verification.
Perfect. Thank you very much for clarification on that. So the last question that I have myself before we open the floor to the studio audience is that decentralized finance is still a relatively foreign concept to the majority of mainstream consumers. How will this project help introduce more mainstream investors to DeFi? I know that back in the beginning of the introduction to this project, you mentioned that well, not necessarily the wording that you mentioned, but more in terms of the approach, is that you were essentially trying to become almost like the Amazon of the crypto space. How would you potentially be attracting, if you are looking to attract even non-crypto people into this project, how would you go about doing so?
Well, for us, the true key to mass adoption is how easy your product could understand by a non-Web3 background person, right? So if it is that easy to understand, that is the true key of success. Then to add to that, how to funnel them to our community, my answer to your question is build real world use case. People don't go or don't do what you said because you said so, because you say so. It's not how world works. Make them go on your way. So in order to do that, you have to make them to do that. Basically, like if your product has functions and they can use it on their everyday lives, then you'll see gradually a mass adoption until you see that all of them already migrated because they find your product very ease of use. Like they already understand it without noticing that there is an underlying blockchain technology behind it. Like using a Web3 platform without even noticing it like that it is a Web3 platform, that you cannot even differentiate the difference between a Web2 and a Web3 platform. That's easy to understand. For us, that's the meaning of true mass adoption. Most probably, it will be the meaning of success.
Excellent. Thank you much for providing that response to that, and thank you much for the clarification on that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing exactly how this project plays out in the non-crypto space as well. So that is the end of all the questions that I have myself. So now we're going to go ahead and open the floor to questions from the studio audience. A reminder that in the interest of time, please ensure that you are limiting your questions to one question per post or hand raise. If you're asking a question via voice chat, please ensure that you're not beginning your question with, "I have a question," or "Hello, can you hear me?" in order to avoid being skipped. For those of you asking questions via text, please note that your questions must contain the name of the project currently being interviewed in order to avoid being skipped. So we're going to start off in the voice chat with Benga. Benga, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thanks to the opportunity, man. My question goes thus. I have a question with respect to the e-commerce ecosystem, because you're taking a crypto to the next level, which we actually have here about. My question is, the e-commerce system, is it the team that is going to handle the e-commerce system? Is it the crypto team, or you have a personal body that will be handling that will be handling the ecosystem for the e-commerce? Because if we order something on the e-commerce, we said a VIP order, we have a free delivery of the items. I'm just kind of curious. What if I have the item free delivery to my doorstep and I'm not satisfied with it? can I see have opportunity to return the items, stuff like that? Then on which particular location are you targeting for your e-commerce ecosystem?
Sorry, but can you simplify your question because I somehow can't understand. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But can you simplify it? Simplify it.
Okay, thank you. In simple sentence, the e-commerce system, which particular location will you be targeting? I'm kind of curious. I actually wanted to ask about the delivery, but I'm happy you made mention about that. VIP order will have free delivery to their doorsteps. I'm also kind of curious that which particular location will you be targeting with respect to that, and the body that will be handling the ecosystem for the e-commerce, because e-commerce alone is actually a project on its own that you should be focusing, and you are combining crypto with it, another ecosystem. And you see that your team that will be handling this e-commerce, or there's a body that you'll be colliding with for the e-commerce ecosystem.
Okay, so I think you were asking about the geolocation of the user. So like if the user was not allowed by its country or the location to list for us, it's quite actually the responsibility of the user to follow or to do so, right? But if we can intervene or if we can mediate and help the community, we will do. But in that terms, there will be section and guidelines to be released, but it is the responsibility of the user if they are allowed or not. But all are welcome. It's just that uh, sometimes there are geolocation policies that we cannot prevent, but again, we will help if we can. We will intervene. Just tell us can we support you guys. Then we will see through the section and guidelines how can we process through it. Then for the delivery, same process. The delivery is the responsibility of the merchant. Like how to communicate to the other side, it's the responsibility of the merchant. But again, we will intervene, or we will, if something occurs, some problem occurs, just our customer service representatives and our customer hotline is 24/7. Feel free to contact us so we know how can we help you, because we are expanding aggressively on customer service, more aggressive compared to marketing. Because why? Because customer service department bridge the gap between the community and the team. It lessens the friction and it relays the message, the problem of the community to the team. So don't worry about the customer service part. If you have a problem, again, it is the merchant's responsibility. But if you do so have a problem, don't hesitate to contact our customer service. Then they will relate the problem to our team.
Okay, awesome, perfectly. For asking my question, I actually have seen a project like this, and with respect to most of the flow.
Sorry.
Geometric. I said I've seen a project like this, a project that has similar features, and with respect to their mistakes, that's why I actually asked you this question with respect to geo zone. I mean the target location. For instance, if you be targeting
Yeah, for the logistics. Yeah, actually, you were right. But of course,
if you will not be targeting Africans, that means anybody will know that. I don't know if you get my
yeah,
point. That means
yeah, of course, because
anybody from Africa will know that, okay, I will not order anything on this platform. I don't know if you get my point. But that's why the target location will only be efficient if you can actually set it on your platform, the location you are targeting with respect to time, so that anybody that excludes from that location will know that, okay, at the moment the delivery to my location is not possible at the moment. The person will not even bother to make order because it agrees to service failure, where I order something and at the end of the day I later discovered that that particular project won't be delivered to my location. You understand? And to get the funds back is actually something not easy. To avoid dissatisfaction and customer complaints. Thank you. I
Well,
think this is a great project.
yeah, thank you so much. Actually, just to add to that, your question is quite really great, right? So just to add to that, that Web3 e-commerce is really far behind from Web2 e-commerce because Web3 e-commerce is actually our project will only be launched soon. So don't worry about that. It will get better. We're just little behind from the Web2 e-commerce that's been around for years. But if you give us time to build, as I say, we are we are the type of project who prioritize building over the hype. So give us time. It will get better. We promise you that. Then any concerns, don't worry about it. Feel free to contact our customer service representative 24 hours. Because why is it 24 hours? Because e-commerce doesn't sleep, market doesn't sleep. So why do we, right? Thank you so much for your question. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for your time. I will go into your community for other questions. Thanks for the opportunity, not the networks.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
much as always. Sorry. Thank you much as always, Gamenga, and thank you, Benjamin, for your response. Next question, we're going back over to the text chat, and now the first two questions were answered by, first two questions in the text chat were already addressed by Gamenga's question in the voice chat, so we're going to actually move to Abdul Rahim, who covers the next two questions, asking, I just found that people can list the products and sell them on your website. I'm an Amazon seller in India, and if I want to sell my products on your platform, what are the procedures to list my products on your platform? Who is responsible for fixing the prices of those products, or can I fix the amount? And are there any country restrictions in terms, I guess, of listing products?
Well, for the first, let's start with the price. You can list whatever your price that one is or want to be. For the location, again, it is the responsibility of the merchant to, if they're allowed or not. But if you can mediate, we will mediate. Then, what's the other question again? Sorry.
And the, I guess in terms of who's setting the prices for the products of sellers listing on the platform.
Yeah, the merchant will set the price, how much he want it to be sold or to be sold.
Excellent. And sorry, did you mention the part? I got a little bit sidetracked. Did you mention the part about the procedures to list for individuals to list their products on the platform?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so there are terms and service. We will be releasing it soon, prior to the launch of the store. So if you're going to list your product, thank you for reminding me. Thank you so much. If you're going to list your product, be sure that it is bound within the bound of our terms and service, because it will be reviewed first before you list it. You'll be able to list it. So as long as it is not outside of the terms and service, it will be get listed. So terms and service will be announced soon. We will release it soon, so stay tuned. Please keep in watch to our Telegram because we will release it soon prior to store launch.
Excellent. Thank you for the response. Thank you, Abdul, for your question. Back over to the voice chat, we have Last Kampachi. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Roland. We finally get to talk. Hi, Benjamin. That's something that I saw on the website, that a few products were on discount. So when it comes to the long-term procedure, how is that going to work? The person who is listing them will definitely not want to put it on. So how do you want to do this? Will you be putting a discounted or something on your own business? Will you be paying for the discounts, or how do we do the discount thing?
Sorry, can you simplify your question, please?
I saw a few things on your website that are on a discount basis, 50% off and something like that. How does this thing work? Who puts these things on discount? Is it the person who is putting them off for listing? You are doing it on your basis after a time period has passed away.
You mean the discounts? You mean the... Yeah, for the discounts, you can get discounts if we have a current event or a special discount. You have access to that if you are a VIP client, like you're staking your tokens. Depending on your tier, you get a VIP status. You get the perks depending on your tier. So that's how discounts work on our website, on our platform. So stake your tokens, hold it, so you get additional perks, free shipping, discounts, and some other perks that the event is currently running. So just stake your tokens and stay with us. You'll get a bunch of benefits from that.
Benjamin, I'm not sure how you want to proceed with this. Let's say I am a person who is listing a few rigs, right? A few computer rigs I bought in a Black Friday sale at, let's say, 70% off. I want to list them on your website for 50% off. Of course, I would show that this is the original MRP and this is the cost you will be paying. So there will be a discount. So in that case, that I don't need to hold, the customer doesn't need to hold this, right? I am providing discount from my end. How is I don't think it should benefit the platform in this basis.
Oh, I see. I think I know what your question is. So if we have a current event, right? Then let's say we've decided to discount the product. You're saying, will the merchant have to carry the discount, or like, all right, would they be reliable to reduce their price or something? Like,
Yeah,
is
vice
that
versa. Both sides. If a merchant has to pay or has not to pay, I just want to know the scenarios where discount will help the investor as well as the merchant.
Yeah, all right. So if it's on the event, like normal Web2 e-commerce company, if the event is from us, we have the budget for it, because it is sort of kind of the marketing part too. So if the event is from us, we will incentivize the merchants between the gap between the prices. So no need to worry about that if the event is from us. But if the discount is coming from the seller just have to adjust their price. Then of course they are reliable for the discounts.
Make sense? Well, thank you for answering that, Benjamin. Thank you, Donald.
Thank you so much, Kenpachi. Great question. Great question. Appreciate it. Very great question.
Thank you very much for your question, Kenpachi, and thank you very much for your response, Benjamin. So unfortunately, we only have time for one more question. This actually, I know part of Patrick's question was already touched on by Abdul, but this actually, the second half of Patrick's question actually brings up a good point in terms of, do you have any plans of using your native token in your e-commerce website in the future? Like, can users buy and sell goods using the actual BX token as opposed to the more standard cryptocurrencies?
Well, I think I forgot to mention the tokenomics advantage of that part. Yeah, you can. Sorry. You can use our token to buy on our marketplace, but then of course we cannot ask the community to, like, for example, they want to use Bitcoin or Ethereum. We cannot ask them to use our token instead, right? So the answer is yes, you can use our token, but how we will tell the people to incentivize them to use the token? The answer to that is, if we keep on building the product or the platform, eventually along the way, along we progress, people should have been incentivized to use our token instead of the Bitcoin and the others. So yes, you can use our token. Then how we will tell the people to use it, it's up to us, depending on how good we are to build our product in the future.
Excellent. Thank you much for the clarification on that point. So, unfortunately, there's all the time that we have left for questions from the community. So, if you did not get the opportunity to have your question asked during tonight's AMA, you're welcome to pop over to the official BlockXpress Telegram at t.me/BlockXpress. Ask any further questions that you have in their Telegram group, and the mod team and the dev team will be happy to answer any further questions that you have at that point. So that being said, Benjamin, do you have any closing statements that you'd like to make to the Phoenix Holdings community before we close out tonight's AMA?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Phoenix Holdings community, for letting us here. It's such a very insightful discussion. The community has actually a very good question. Then thank you so much for discussing it with us. because we believe a healthy discussion means progression and innovation. Then we love discussing theories. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you guys for having us here, and thank you to you because you're such a wonderful host and very nice intro. Props to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you again to Benjamin from BlockXpress for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holding Studio. It was a pleasure having you. We wish you all the best for your project.
Thank you so much. Have a great day or evening. Thank you, guys.
Get it once again for Benjamin from BlockXpress. So, now that you heard from the team, it's time for you to decide. Are you bullish on this project? Or are you bearish? Will you ape in? Or will you jeet out? And with that brings us to the end of another episode of Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump. Thank you again to the Phoenix Holdings for the opportunity to have us in your studio tonight, and thank you all for tuning in with us. Have a good night, and we'll see you all next time. Reminder to help control the G population. Stay in neuter. Your friends and family.